All right, we're getting Elijah Brown live here. Elijah Brown, what's up, man?
What up, T Mill?
How you been?
What's that?
How you been?
Chilling, man.
There's been a long time. I want to say like
I
10
know.
years almost.
Yeah, definitely. How was I? I was like 12 years old on the Huskies.
Yeah, what are you, 21
Yeah,
now?
man. Yeah.
Jeez. Growing up fast, man. Yeah, it's been a while. Hey, all right, let me do my little intro here first and then we'll get started. I'm Tyler Milbert. I'm here with Elijah Brown, and this is Inside the Mind of an Athlete. All right, so you're a senior at Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut. So, to my belief, the NCAA has granted the seniors of these spring sports, they're allowed to come back for one more year for their senior year, or?
Yeah. So we have the option. They gave everybody the option. Now, that's really all we've heard from the NCAA. So they give us the option for the year, but then they kind of give the schools kind of just free rein on how they want to kind of apply that. Because you got to think, being seniors, a lot of these guys are graduating. You
Right,
know what I mean? And if they're not going to grad school, if they have jobs lined up, stuff like that, then it's going to be hard for them to play another year
right.
based off the pre-existing rules that you got to be a full-time student.
Yeah,
So, I mean, the hope is that I mean, my coach is working very hard for us. My hope is that they will make some sort of accommodation. I mean, the idea of them letting like the seniors kind of play without being students, like working a job and then still playing is it's kind of like it's kind of out of this world. I think that'd be pretty cool. But
right.
um, I mean, I was going back anyways for my fifth year of undergrad, so it was kind of a win-win. I mean, granted, I definitely
Okay.
want to play this year, but I'll be back. So
Yeah. Hey, cool. That's great to hear, man. Yeah, like you said, you definitely have to be a full-time student, or at least that's what the thought behind it is. You can't just like it's not like, hey, seniors are welcome back, but you're only going to school when you're playing ball. You know what I mean? You'd
yeah,
have to be
mm.
enlisted in the school. Um, but yeah, hey, you remember Dawson Stacy? You played with Dawson Stacy back in the day on
Did
the
I?
Huskies? Yeah,
He was on that team.
yeah. He's in the chat right now. Oh yeah, he was actually. You know what? No, he was. He was because I was there for a year, and yeah, he was there.
I
Little
remember the year that
Stacy
I was
man.
playing with you guys. We were out in that was when we went to Florida. I came to
Hmm.
ESPN with you guys.
Yeah, yeah. Florida. Were you at the Delaware tournament?
Mm, no,
No.
I just played Florida with you guys.
Okay. So so you're coming back to play, or you
Yes, sir.
that to play. So you're not just going back to school to continue your education.
No, I am. So that's the reason why I am able to play because
Okay.
I my plans for next year, regardless of what happened this year, if there's none of this happened and we ended up playing the whole year, I already had plans to go back to finish my
Okay.
undergrad, even if
Good.
that meant not playing. So
Right. Okay. Good. So yeah, in a way, then I mean, now you get that kind of like that fifth year option. So now you get to play, and hopefully, what's your plans going forward with the game of baseball? Are you are you trying to kind of put your name in the draft, or are you kind of
yeah,
just like so you still want to go forward with it?
yeah. I mean, I'm as long as I'm playing. I mean, I guess I'm competing at the collegiate level. I don't see why I wouldn't give it a shot. You know what I mean? I personally, I mean, I think I definitely have my ceiling to grow is enormous. I think I can definitely hang. I've hung with kids that are playing pro ball now. I think I could hang at that level. It's just a matter of me kind of becoming the player that I know that I can be. You know,
Right.
and I've shown it. I've shown it in moments. which is kind of the most frustrating part because
Right.
I've never had a season yet where I really feel like I showcased what I can do over an entire season.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So with that, like I've had my moments. I've gotten some looks. You know what I mean? I've talked to people there, and like last year, my name was in the draft board.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't think anything was going to happen because
Right.
I didn't have a great season. I wasn't having any contact in the usual contact period before the draft, so I was
Right.
not expecting anything.
Okay.
Um, but it's good to know. It's not reassuring. I wouldn't say it's good to know that you know what I mean people do notice,
Right.
and it's good that people do notice, and it's motivating. So you
Hmm.
know, I'm gonna try to
Agreed.
use this last year to maybe put it all together. I got 1 year left to try to really make a consistent effort
Right.
and make something happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from seeing you at the age of 12 to now at 21, I mean, your work ethic is second to none, man. I see you and your dad in the cages all the time, and it just shows how hard you have been working because you are a D1 athlete, and like you said, you're playing at the highest level of collegiate ball. Um, you're over at Sacred Heart in Connecticut, and you're on TV. You're playing LSU. You know what I mean? Like these are big name schools. So, um, how does it feel for a kid from New England to be playing teams like LSU and then knowing that the team you're playing is a big enough school to be aired on TV?
That was that's kind of it's something that I didn't even really like process when I was going through my whole recruiting, everything going on. Like I had known that they'd played LSU. I know they play SEC teams, this and
Right.
that. And I kind of knew because when we go to like the way baseball works, you win your conference, you get an automatic bid into the tournament, so you go to the regional, and
Yeah.
you most likely are going to play a Big 12, Big 10, SEC team there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I
Right.
knew that was possible if we ended up winning our conference because my freshman year we actually made it to the championship. So I knew that was possible in the next round, but um, yeah, when you're playing in the it's one of the first games during spring break. So you know, it's right when the season starts. Their fans show out because the season's returned.
Right.
Um, I think that was the first time I was on ESPN. I want to say.
Okay.
I mean, I think I've been on ESPN like three, ESPNU online stuff. You know what I mean? But
Right.
that was my first time really being on national television, and that was really cool. I mean,
Yeah.
LSU is an unbelievable atmosphere.
For sure. Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, like your dad's posting all this stuff, and obviously he's a big fan of yours. Whether it's helping you out or just being the fan you need and the father you need to continue being the athlete you are and what you need to continue growing. He seems to be there for you 24/7 as far as I'm concerned, and that's got to be a heck of a support system to have as a young college student in the game of baseball. But I got a question is, what made you fall in love with the game of baseball?
I mean, it was just, it's, I mean, honestly, to this day, I can't even really put it into words. It's just, you, you have, when you love something, it's a feeling. You know what I mean? It's almost indescribable. And that's kind of really what we use the word love for. But I remember I played a bunch of sports growing up. I played basketball, I played football, I played soccer, whatever it was. My dad tried to get me to play hockey. I wasn't having that. But it was just something like when baseball season came around, like I couldn't be bothered. Like I didn't want to do anything but play baseball. Like basketball season, I'd be like, yeah, maybe I'll play, like whatever. Football, gave it a try in middle school. I was like, yeah, it's cool. My boys are doing it, so I'll. But like baseball, I didn't care. I didn't care if I didn't have any friends on the team, if it was just some random travel team that I was playing for, whatever. Like I just loved playing the game. It was everything about it was just I loved everything about the game of baseball. I don't even know how to put it into words for you,
Right.
but if that makes sense.
Yeah. No. Hey, coming from a baseball guy, I understand it. It's just it's something about the season when it rolls around. You're just like, let's go.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Um.
man.
So I don't know what age you would have been, but I know it was when you were younger playing Little League. Your team either made the Little League World Series or had the chance to make the Little League World Series. Is that right?
I don't know, not my team. I don't think we ever made it that far when I was playing. I know my league either a couple years before I was 12 or even a couple years after made it or got close.
Okay.
But I never made it there.
Okay. All right. Maybe that's what it was. But I know me and Kyle would like talk about it and be like, so maybe it was, hey, like the team Elijah used to play for is going. That could have been it. Um, but yeah, man. I mean, so I guess this season technically didn't affect you. I mean, obviously it sucks not playing ball, but you still have that fifth year of eligibility to go out there and get some more reps in, and hopefully, get seen by someone who just sees your athleticism and sees your love for the game and your heart and all you put into it, and hopefully you can get to that next level. And like I said, you got the support system behind you, which has got to feel great. And I know I've been out in Arizona for 8 years now, and I've been rooting for you still. So it's really cool seeing kids that we Coach Rhines and I had coached continue playing the game they love and the game we love. And because I know you're at Sacred Heart, Tyler Copo, he played on the Huskies. He was over at Hartford.
Yeah, I play him every year. I see him every year.
Yeah. I reached out to him after the whole season was canceled and seeing what his plans are for the future, but I'm hoping to talk with him soon too. But yeah, so I want to hear Elijah Brown's advice for just kids growing up uh, in any sport. It doesn't have to be baseball, but in any sport, just what is your advice to them on how to go about it and how to live every day playing that sport? Because I know my volleyball guys, their senior year came to an end in high school, and some of them aren't even going to play in college, So their
Yeah,
last game, they had no idea it was going to be their last game.
yeah.
So, what is your advice, just to younger guys that look up to you? What's your advice to them going forward?
I've yeah, man, I played so much in my life. One thing, maybe one or two things that I have kind of picked out to keep me going is you love the game, you want to be great, you have to take it seriously, right? But you don't want to prevent it from you don't want it to stop you from having fun, right? Like
Right.
you started playing the game in the first place because you loved to do it. It was fun. It brought you joy. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I've seen so many kids, including myself, kind of almost fall off the ship, like on borderline falling out of love with the game
Right.
because it's just because they put so much pressure on themselves. They make it too much like a job. You know what I mean? It
Right.
is a job. You have to take care of business on field. You got to work hard. You got to, you know what I mean, do this and that because you're trying to build a career for yourself. You know what I mean? If you have aspirations to play at the collegiate and pro level, but at the same time, sometimes you got to take a step back and you got to remember why you like playing and make sure you're having fun while doing it. You know what I
Right.
mean? If you're trying all this stuff and you're still not having fun, like maybe it's not for you. Like if you're
Right.
not having fun, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to go anywhere if it's not fun for you. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And I've gone through some very low points since I've been at school, and the thing that's getting me out of it is my teammates. You know what I mean? These relationships that I've built with guys through my 4 years, and just trying to have as much fun as I can while I do it. And my other thing,
Yeah.
in addition to that, is I recommend that young guys, you know what I mean, trying to get themselves better. It's good to work, to put in the hours, to lift weights, to hit, do this and that. But at the same time, in your off time, you have to watch. You have to
Right.
watch as much baseball as you can,
Yep.
right? There's a reason that they pay those guys so much money. And
Mhm.
people say they get to the pro level and they start to take it easy. That's not true at all. They're still doing just about everything right. Like you want to see
Yeah.
the best swings in the world, you need to watch big leaguers take their batting practice, take their in-game swings, and watch what they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Find a player that you like and watch him. Like that's I watch so much baseball. It would make your head spin. Like I study more baseball swings than I do my schoolwork. And I'm not telling you to blow up school or do this and that, but I love to watch. I love to learn from these guys because they're the best. Like this is the reason why
Right.
they pay them that kind of money. You know what I mean? You have to watch. Just
Right.
watch, just watch, just watch. That's my biggest point.
Agreed. Agreed, man. Who would you say your swing resembles most?
My swing. My dad tells me that I finish. He says I finish like Bellinger. But I mean,
Okay.
I think in that whole swing, the only thing I do is finish like him. If I had anything of a swing like him, I'd probably be doing a lot better for myself right now. But actually, you know who I saw? I saw that kid from Houston, the rookie. What's his name? Alvarez? Jordan Alvarez?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
do see him. I do see a little bit of myself in his swing too,
Okay.
a little
Who
bit.
did
But
you go ahead.
my favorite is Yelich. So like I was you know what I mean watching a lot of Yelich over the past year, and I was trying to do a lot of stuff like him. So I mean, hopefully my swing looks a little bit like his because I was really trying to do exactly what he did. But yeah,
Okay.
that's my favorite. That's my guy right there.
I mean, MVP kind of hard not to want to model yourself after that, you know.
Exactly.
But hey, so what's your favorite ballpark that you have gotten to play at? Whether it was due to uh, SHU or when you played for the Bay Sox, like what was your favorite field to play at?
Um, actually having played at LSU, like LX Box Stadium is incredible. Like it's an atmosphere.
Hmm.
I'm like you have 12,000 people like rooting against you. It's one of the craziest things I've ever been a part of. But actually, I played at the University of Hawaii my freshman year, and that place is dope.
Okay.
That place is really
Oh,
dope. You
geez,
actually
yeah.
their setup is actually really nice. They probably have I think like 5 to 6 thousand fans, but they have a nice stadium.
Okay.
Because really all they
Right.
have out there is University of Hawaii's athletics. So they show a
Hmm.
lot of support for their guys, and that was one of the coolest atmospheres because you got that Hawaiian sunset in the back, like it's hot. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's really nice out there.
Yeah, that's wild, man. So, I mean, it sounds like just going to Sacred Heart and playing D1 ball that they're kind of taking you places you may thought baseball wouldn't have taken you before. So that's going to be pretty dang cool. You know what I mean? Going
Hmm.
to Hawaii. I mean, I knew about LSU and that alone is wild, but like I didn't know about Hawaii. So I mean that's just crazy just to show you if you put your mind to something that you love, like you'll never know where it's going to take you at all. I know it's
Yeah,
whether you knew you were going to play college ball or whatnot. I mean, you didn't know per se you're going to Hawaii because you're playing at Sacred Heart. You know,
yeah. Hmm.
there's several places you can go around the world to play ball, and for a college to take you there, it's pretty incredible. Um, so over the summers, you played with the Bay Sox. Where were they based out of?
Hmm. That's in New Bedford, Massachusetts.
Okay, and that was a wood bat league.
Yeah. So the NECBL, yeah, all
Okay,
wood bat. They take teams
okay,
from all over New England, so that's a fun league to play in.
okay. If you were to compare that to the Cape Cod League, would you? It's
I
pretty
know
much the same ball, or
I know in like national rankings they do a lot of that stuff. Nothing really touches the Cape Cod League, but I know
right?
that the NECBL is like two or three. Like you're gonna
Hmm.
find in terms of like overall talent, you're gonna find probably like second or third most in the NECBL. You're gonna find a lot. There's actually a lot of Power Five guys, a lot of SEC, ACC. There's a lot of good talent in that league.
And that's a league you try out for, or is that a league they kind of like they see you play and they're like, hey, we want this kid in our league?
So there's different ways to go about it. Actually, you get placed. So at my school, I my coaches my coaches were huge in getting me into my summer ball places over my college career. So I know at a lot of schools, coaches will help out with that and getting guys placed. But at the same time, you can market yourself. Really,
Right.
you can do whatever you want for yourself. I know guys that have gotten into the perfect game league, really on their own accord. You know what I mean? They handle everything on their own,
Yeah.
um, and that's perfectly fine too. But
Yeah.
my coaches placed me out there after my sophomore year.
Okay. Now, how long have you been a starter at SHU?
Um, I have been a pretty consistent guy actually since my freshman year.
Mm.
So, I came in determined. They actually, I actually got lucky. So my freshman year, there's a guy named Zach Short. He plays for the Cubs.
Okay.
I think he's on the 40-man roster actually right now, which is pretty cool because
Yeah.
he got drafted out of Sacred Heart in 2016, his
Okay.
junior year. So he actually had another year to play, and he was the shortstop, and second base was filled too. They had another going to be senior at second base, but because he ended up getting drafted, they moved our second baseman to short, and that opened the hole there. And I kind of just, I came in, I busted my ass, and I ended up getting that spot.
Yep.
And I was, I played pretty consistently ever since I've been there. But there was definitely a little bit of luck in that situation that he got
Right.
drafted that
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, like you're going back to just your work ethic. I mean, you knew just with all your hard work that you're going to get there eventually. Whether if it shocked you freshman year, that's just another year to continue learning and continue growing. But where you got to play your freshman year, that kind of put you a little bit more ahead of the game. Where you're now consistently playing, getting those ground balls, twisting those double plays, and just seeing live pitching every day. That's gonna put you a little higher than some other freshmen that are going to D1s that
Yeah,
may not see the field till sophomore, junior, even senior year. So I
absolutely.
think, yeah, like you said, it has luck to do with it for sure. Um, but like I said, with your work ethic, you were going to get there regardless of luck. But what made you choose SHU over any other school?
So I actually only had two legitimate offers out of high school. One of them was Sacred Heart, and the other one was actually Franklin Pierce.
Okay.
Um, so I knew the area very well. Obviously,
Right.
I'd come up to visit Kyle all the time. We used to go play in the bubble when we were 13 years old. I never knew that I would have the chance to play there eventually, but
Yeah.
um, I loved Franklin Pierce, and it's such a competitive Division II school. Like you're
Hmm.
talking top 10 in the nation every year. So um, I was initially drawn to them. I want to say just because I had never really even heard of Sacred Heart, and
Right.
I was, Franklin Pierce, I just knew it was good. I just knew it was good baseball that I would end up playing. But I came
Hmm.
and I toured Sacred Heart and I just fell in love. Like I loved the campus, I loved the location, I loved everything about it. It was just such a welcoming community. The coaches have been phenomenal. We actually had my head coach from my freshman year is not here anymore. He retired after my freshman year. But even our assistant who stepped up as now the head coach, I love him to death. He's been a great coach. He's been a
Yeah.
great mentor to me. Um, and I could just tell, like they had a vision for this program. You know what I mean? They wanted to take it to new heights and make it more known. And I've honestly seen that in the last 4 years that I've been there. So with our shortstop getting drafted, right, making a name for himself, kind of helps put us on the map too. But we go out and we perform and we challenge opponents when we go on our trips and stuff like that. And I've kind of seen it, the name start to spread a little bit. You know what I mean,
Right.
throughout the Northeast, because you know what I mean. Like I said, I never heard of it coming out of high
Right.
school, and
Hmm.
now I see more and more kids from Rhode Island, Massachusetts, going to camps, sending out emails, um, even just regular students, kind of just finding their way to Sacred Heart. So it was really that. It was really just that I could see a vision, you know what I mean, and I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to help make it happen. So that's why I picked it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you can't not love Franklin Pierce.
Yeah.
So, especially right down the road from the Dupuises. So, But that's cool that you chose Sacred Heart, man. Like, cause you could have chosen Franklin Pierce just because you're familiar with the area. You played there growing up, and so it's kind of like you said. As long as you're playing baseball, you're happy. It's not a comfort
Yeah.
zone for you. Like baseball is your comfort zone. So wherever you're playing, you're going to play at an elite level. So um, I'm happy you chose Sacred Heart. It's really cool saying, yo, back in the day, I coached a kid who's now playing D1 ball. Like
Right.
that's kind of cool. You kids were great back then, and you're growing up to be great young adults too. And it's an honor to have coached you. It's an honor to still talk to you and watch you grow in the game you love and just as a young man. What would you have, or let's end this on this, your favorite, it can be a couple, but your favorite memories at Sacred Heart?
Favorite memories. Well, one, all right, so one initial one that stands out is my freshman year. Like I said, we made it to the conference championship, but the night before we had to play the semifinal. The semifinal game was the night before. So the team that we were playing had just beaten. Well, actually, I can go through the whole thing. So we came in as the 4 seed, I want to say. So we played the 1 seed, which is Bryant University.
Okay.
We played them, and we ended up beating them 3-1. Really, our asses off. And then the next day, I think did we lose? No, I don't think did we lose? I can't even remember if we lost. But the team that we ended up playing in the semifinals, right? They lost their first game. So they ended up having to play Bryant, right? First game the next day before our game. We were playing the winner of them. They walked it off on Bryant. So they were high. They were coming off of a high, like an emotional high after that
Mm-hmm.
game. And we end up playing them, and we go into extra innings with them. So it's like the bottom of the 12th inning, like 3-3, whatever. And I come up with 1 out, second and third, I think, and I work it to like a 3-2 count. I end up hitting a walk-off single down the right field line to send us to the championship. And then, yeah. So, I mean, me being a freshman, it was just kind of like a really cool moment for me,
Right.
just to kind of be able to step up and do that. Um, that was one. I don't even know if I really have anything else that kind of compares to that.
Hey, I mean, a walk off as a freshman to bring you to the ship is that's
Yeah,
kind of
man,
tough to beat, you know.
that was a
I
good
mean,
one.
now it's just routine for you to do that.
Yeah, man, that was a good one.
But hey, man, well, I wish you luck going forward. I will still be uh, rooting for you, and if you're on TV, I'll be watching your games for sure. I know I won't miss those, but and like I told you, I'm pretty sure I've told you either since your senior year of high school or since your freshman year of college. I said I'll be watching your name across the bottom of the line of the TV, and
I
I
hope
and I know
so, man.
I know I will, man, because like I said, with your work ethic, your mindset, your heart, your love for the game, your support system, I know you're a special kid, man, and I'm proud of the young man you become, and will continue to become. So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tyler Milber. I'm with Elijah Brown, and this is Inside the Mind of an Athlete. All right, take care, EJ.
You too, Tyler.
Later, brother.
Love you, man.